we're here with Clay Lawrence, the owner and founder of Review Harvest. He helps home service and local service businesses get more reviews. So really excited to have him on. How are you doing today, Clay?
Doing great. Stoked to be here. Stoked to help out as many business owners as we can about Google reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, love it, man. So can you share a little background on the inception of Review Harvest and what you do at your company?
Yeah, for sure. So basically started off in college doing like a marketing agency thing where I was doing any sort of service for any sort of local business, working with a bunch of people, doing a whole bunch of things, and that was just exhausting. And so one day I was like, making all right money, but I work 14 hours a day. I'm still stressed and feel like I'm not doing a great job and with all my different clients. So I was like, just sat down and looked at my business and was like, what's the one thing that all of these clients have in common that they all love that I can do over and over again? And it was like, it's the Google review system. And so from then I just kind of focused on it. And I was like, now that I had all the extra attention and freed up attention, I just went all in on making it as incredible as possible just to get the best results as possible and testing and trying new systems and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I kind of went all in on it. I said, had this idea, let's just get Google reviews for people. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And I know for home service and local service businesses, the Google reviews are like digital gold. So, what type of businesses mostly do you work with? Is there a specific industry that you focus on, or a specific type of company? Where are you spending most of your time nowadays?
Yeah, so right now I'm like 40% home service business, 40% tourism based business like rental companies, golf cart rental companies, pontoon rentals, just stuff like that. Because I live in a tourist based area, so that was kind of my base of original clients. But other than that, 40% home service and 20% miscellaneous, some dental, some different. And so, yeah, but I've absolutely loved working with home service companies, specifically driver and cleaning companies, junk removal companies. Those are some of my favorites to work with.
That's great. And let's start at a high level here. I think most
Mhm.
people, as consumers and business owners, are very familiar with Google reviews. I know as a consumer, if I need a plumber or a pest control person, I go to Google and type in pest control plus Santa Monica because that's where I'm based. So, just starting at a high level, can you talk a little bit about the importance and the value of these Google reviews for businesses?
Yeah, for sure. So, the biggest thing that I say to people about Google reviews is that when you get more Google reviews, and why they're so important is because they accomplish two different things. Not only are they going to get you more awareness across all of Google, across the web, but they're also going to do a better job of converting that awareness into people ready to give you money, right? And so, a lot of times when we're doing marketing activities, whether it's running ads or doing SEO or doing working on a new follow up process and sequence for our leads or whatever it is, normally we're either working on one, awareness, generating more awareness, or doing a better job converting that awareness. The great thing about reviews is they're super simple to get. You can just ask for a review and get somebody to leave your review right there. And not only do they get you more of that awareness by ranking higher on Google, but also when people are scrolling Google, when you've got 50 or 100 more reviews than the nearest competitor, people are going to pick you. Like you just become the no-brainer. And so what happens is you get that double, you kind of get the both sides of the spectrum, and it's kind of a
Mhm.
2-for-1 special, two birds, one stone.
Yeah. Okay, so reviews can be used both as a way to drive top of funnel for new lead acquisition as well as help like later in the marketing and sales process. Is that right?
For sure, for sure. And I think
Okay.
that top of funnel, you're still going to get more clicks. So it doesn't matter if you're not always on the first page. When you are on the first page and you've got 50 more reviews than anyone else in the map pack, you're going to be more effective there. Your click through rate's going to be much higher, right? And then you can do so many things with your reviews for increasing your conversion rates on leads, estimate quotes, or whatever. One of my favorite things is just print out every single one of your Google reviews, put them in folders, and every single time, and this is mainly for high ticket, if you're like garage coatings or tree service, anything that's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 grand. But if you go
Hmm.
out give a quote, give them a stack of like 50 pages of just your Google reviews, right? And use that and see what happens to your conversion rate when you give them all that social proof to hold in their hand. So there's so much you can do with it in terms of converting in the back end.
Right. Yeah, no, and I think presenting and putting those reviews in front of your customers is so important. We talked with the owner of Blue Collar Builds, well-respected landing page designer for home service businesses, and one of the biggest things he focuses on is that social proof and getting those reviews on the landing page. So I definitely want to get into presenting the reviews in the right way, but taking a step back to actually getting the reviews as a home service business owner. How should I go about getting the reviews? Just hope that people like what I did and go and find me on Google? Should I be asking them when I'm done with every job? What's the best practices for actually going from 0 reviews to your first 5?
Yeah, for sure. So going from your 0 to your first 5 reviews, like if you wanna do that, you can literally do it today. Go to your contacts on your phone or go to your CRM, pull out your phone, grab your link from your Google business profile. All you do is type in the name of your business to Google, make sure it's the email that manages it, grab your ask for reviews link, copy it, paste that in a little text, say, hey, your customer's name. We're trying to grow on, we're trying to get more reviews on Google. If you enjoyed working with us, would you mind leaving a review? Paste the link. Now send that to your first, your last 40, 50 customers, and you'll get your first 5 reviews today. I guarantee it. And if they don't leave them in the first day, then follow up 2 days later. Just like follow up and be intentional about it. But in terms of like high level overview, like how are you going to set up a Google review system that's going to help your business get hundreds of reviews? It's just 4 things: asking for the reviews, reminding them, incentivizing. We can talk about doing that the right way, and then also making it easy, which is just the link. And so we can go more into depth in that now if you want me to, or we can go talk about that later.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go through those 4 key pillars of getting a lot of great Google reviews.
Yeah, no, for sure. So those 4 pillars right there. The first one is ask. So I recommend asking face to face. I recommend asking via text after you leave. I recommend asking via email. And if you can, if you have time, call them too. And so obviously text and email are like kind of the most automatable of those 4 right there. But face to face is still always a great touch point. When you are face to face, what I normally ask people to do is just get a micro commitment for actually leaving the review. So don't make them do it right then, because a lot of times they will, but what happens is you'll get a lot of short reviews, because if you're trying to hold a conversation with them, they're not going to add photos to the review, they're not going to type more than a sentence or 2 maybe, because they're still talking to you, right? And so what I try and do is say, hey, you're going to get a text and email from us after we leave here. Would you mind just leaving a review for us? It really helps us out. And then when they say yes, it's kind of awkward for them to say no that way. When they say yes, you get the micro commitment, and the text and email is just a reminder. It's not an ask. So that's the first one. That's asking. The second is just reminding. So if they haven't left a review, they haven't clicked the link to leave a review or anything like that in 2 days, I just send them another text, and then on the third day, send them an email. And then if they still haven't done anything, if they haven't responded to that communication at all, then 3 days later, I'll just send them one more email. That's kind of our sequence and cadence for following up. And then if you have people sitting around with their hands tied, tell them to go through your previous customers and call them and ask for a review. I mean, that's just, I don't know, it's kind of a lot. It can be a lot to do in terms of like actually building that into your process, but it's well worth it. And then the third thing is just incentivizing. So you don't want to pay people for reviews. I mean, millions of businesses do it, but it's not, you're not supposed to. It's against Google's terms of service. And so, how we do it at Review Harvest is we donate a meal to Feeding America for every single review we get our clients, right? So our clients literally don't have to do anything. We just donate the meal on their behalf based on how many reviews they get that month or whatever. And so when you incentivize like that, it's an incentive for the common good. So it's not a personal incentive to that person. So it's more compliant, and the person leaving the review feels like they're doing a good thing to help someone in need. So that's kind of how we incentivize. And then the last one is just make it easy. Just give them that direct Google link to QR code, Google link, whatever it is. Just give them a link to touch. Don't make them go type in your business and find where to write a review. You're not going to get very many reviews that way.
Okay, yeah, I love those 4 pillars, and make it easy is I think a big one there. Like just make it super seamless for the customer to click through, leave a good review, and then move on with their day. They can probably get that done in like 30 seconds or less.
For
So I
sure.
know Review Harvest does some creative things with personalized text and email, automating that after the job. So can you walk through some of the processes and fun creative things you've done to get some of your customers, from what I've read, hundreds, maybe even thousands of reviews?
Yeah, for sure. Like crazy stat right now, all of our reviews track in a spreadsheet. So right now, our average client increases their reviews by over 1,100%,
Wow.
and that's crazy stat. But basically, on the personalization side of it, well, I mean, and the biggest thing for getting people hundreds of reviews is like just making sure it happens in the background, like making sure that they don't
Mhm.
have to do anything at all to make this sequence fire. Because like even if they have to click a button, it's just not going to happen all the time, right? And so,
Sorry, just to interrupt you. When you say people, do you mean the business owner or the customer?
the business owner, like making sure the business
Okay,
owner doesn't have to do anything, the business owner or their employees to trigger
got
off
it.
this view review
So,
request.
so
Yeah.
Review Harvest is you guys are taking full control, full reign of this process and automating everything, so it's fully hands off for the business owner.
Exactly. And our
Okay,
idea and our ideal scene is always to integrate with the direct processes they're already using, their software, their system, so they don't have to change a single thing. Like I'd say 99% of our clients haven't changed anything while working with us. We literally just integrate in the background. It just happens, right? So that's the first thing, making sure it actually happens. So making sure it's happening seamlessly. But then in terms of the personalization side of it, we send an image of the business owner with the end client's name on it. So let's say I'm a plumber and I just left Richard's house. Richard was a client of ours, right? We just worked with him. 2 hours later, Richard's going to get a text with, a text of either our team or just my face, and I can be holding an iPad or a TV screen behind me, and Richard's name will be on the screen or Richard's name will be on the iPad. So it looks super duper personalized, and I can send you a sample for that if you want to put it in the newsletter or whatever. But I mean, when you do that, it cuts through the noise because people see 4,000 plus ads a day nowadays. And so when we say people's first names and emails or texts, they pretty much know that it's automated. But when they see it on an image, they're kind of like, whoa, like they see your face and they see their name and they're like, ah. So you kind of get their attention. And then the offer side of it, requesting the review and donating a meal, then we can capitalize on the attention and get more reviews.
great. Yeah, I think the little things like that can really help stand out when people are getting so inundated with different messages and ads over social media. Just a little bit of personalization can go a long way. So let's dive into like a case study. Can you walk us through a case study of someone that came to you and maybe had no reviews or a handful of reviews and were like, hey, I want to just like be the number one listing on Google with hundreds or thousands of great reviews, and walk us kind of through that process from start to finish?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I'll first go over the Junk Punks in Tampa. They're in Tampa, Florida, and Tampa is a super competitive market for junk removal. There's over 200 businesses there, kind of in that area, and so they had started off and not been in business very long, and they were just kind of whitewashed by all the businesses that have hundreds of reviews and almost probably thousands of reviews already. And so we've only been working with them for a couple of months, but we took them from 120 reviews or 127 reviews to like 316 reviews in 2 months. So now they're already in the top, I think three or four reviewed businesses in Tampa. And in terms of their conversion rate, like how many reviews, their customer to review conversion rate, it's so high that they'll catch those other people relatively quickly. And so that's something I'm really stoked about. And then another one was just like the Drive It Superheroes franchise. I've kind of come on with them as their sole provider of Google reviews for home run franchises. And one of their franchises had 200 previous customers, but they only had like 2 reviews. And so we just plugged in our system, requested reviews, and like within a month they had like 80 or 84 reviews. And so those are just a couple of the case studies, but some of my clients have gotten 500-600 reviews in just 3 or 4 months. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So it sounds like one of the biggest things business owners can do is go look through their list of previous customers and simply ask them for a review. It sounds like that's like the first thing you do with these companies to just get them a huge set of new reviews coming in. Is that right?
For sure. Always our first call to action is, hey,
Yeah.
how many previous customers you have? This is how many we're going to reach out to them. This is how many reviews you can expect to get. So yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about once you get these reviews, two things. One, replying to them, and then also repurposing
Mhm.
them across other channels. So when you get reviews, whether they're a 5-star or a 1-star, what is your process at Review Harvest for either directly replying to them or perhaps coaching your client to reply to them?
Yeah, for sure. So, when you're responding to reviews, the biggest thing to remember is that we want to respond to these reviews, and like thinking of the potential clients reading these review responses, right? And so, if you were trying to figure out what business to work with and you were going through the reviews, what would you want the business owner to say, right? Like if you're about to pick out a tree service company or a plumber or an HVAC company, and like you see that they're responding to these reviews with like very very aggressively, using very some choice language, that's probably not the company you want to work with, right? And so just think about your future clients reading their reviews and how would they want you to respond to the reviews. So you use it as an opportunity to kind of sell how you, one, deal with bad reviews if you do get them, and two, how you treat your customers that are leaving great reviews, right? So the simplest way is like always personalize the review based off of their name, the context of the review, and then if they left a great review, say, so happy you had a great experience, looking forward to seeing you again soon. And then if it's a 1-star review or a 2-star review, just use this as an opportunity to show potential customers how you handle adversity. Because if your potential customers are reading it, if you've got 500 5-star reviews, but you've got 5 1-star reviews, but all those 1-star reviews are saying, hey, call me, let's get this sorted out, let's figure out how we can serve you, let's figure out how we can make this right. That one shows the potential customer that all those 500 5-star reviews are real, because it's possible you can get 1-star reviews, right? And it also shows them that even if I do have a bad service, a bad experience, they're going to try and make it right.
Yeah, it's always you can tell a lot by a business by how they respond to a 1-star review, because things happen, and if the business responds and is amicable and looking to find a solution to whatever went wrong, I think that says a lot about the quality and integrity of that business.
For sure.
When it comes
And I will
to
say one comment.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry to cut you off. What I was going to say,
No.
when it comes to a little myth about responding to reviews don't help you rank better on Google. Like, I just let that set the record straight. People think that they do, and like if you post that in some like home service Facebook groups, or like you'll get absolutely berated. People are like, oh no, I responded to all my reviews and I started ranking better overnight. I'm like, okay, cool, that's a nice anecdotal story, but like the biggest SEO research companies have done plenty of research on it, and out of like the 150 different ranking criteria, they for your local Google business profile, like your local SEO search results, I think responding to reviews is like 130th on the list. Like it's literally has almost no effect. And so, and same thing with like people will like stuff keywords in their review responses, because like, I'm so happy you had a great experience with plumbing in Santa Monica, and like they stuff all their keywords in there because they think it's gonna help them rank better. But I'm sorry, guys, it just doesn't. So it's definitely a conversion factor in terms that you want to respond to all your reviews so that potential customers reading your reviews know that you're a reputable business. But in terms of actually ranking higher and getting more attention, it's just not gonna do that.
So I want to get to repurposing reviews, but you hit on another topic that I think is really important, which is local SEO and ranking better for local search. For me, it's a bit of a black box, and I think for a lot of other business owners, it can be as well. How do you go about being that first, second, third? I think they give you 3 previews when you first search a term.
Yeah.
How do you go about approaching getting into that top 3?
Yeah, for sure. So like the local map pack is absolutely huge because it's the highest free real estate on Google for home service companies. So if you go type in plumbers near me, tree service near me, whatever, you're going to get ad. And then now even in the map pack, you'll have a sponsored map ad at the top, and then you'll have 3 organic rankings right there. And that's the highest free real estate on Google nowadays. And so what happens is to actually get into that map pack, there's kind of like to oversimplify it for the sake of just making it this simple and actionable. You need to make sure that your main Google business category is correct. So if you are a plumber, make sure your main Google business category is plumbing. And you can see, if you're in an industry that you like, for example, dry vent cleaning is one of those. Some people have their main business category as like duct cleaning service, and other people have it as dry vent cleaning service. But what I would do is I would just go and see what type of businesses, what is the main category of the people ranking in your area, right? If for some reason they all have got duct cleaning service, maybe you should do that instead. But just kind of experiment and play around with it, and obviously get a good SEO tracking software so you can actually get like data. Like don't go to your phone and type in plumbers near me, and think that is what the Google rankings are saying everywhere. It's just not. So invest like 10, 15, $20 a month in a tracking SEO tracking software to actually get decent results. But
Yeah,
it's your main business
what are some of
category.
those? What are some of those softwares that
Yeah.
you
So
recommend for tracking that?
yeah, so there's a bunch of them, and they all pretty much do the same thing. But Bright Falcon, local brand manager, also known as local brand manager, also known as like Viking something. But it's a good one. That's the one I use. It's $20 a month, I think. But then there's White Spark. White Spark's a decent one. My favorite's local brand manager. I think it's like $20 a month, so it's relatively inexpensive. And so I would definitely recommend those. But yeah, so it's just your main business category and then also the name of your business. So if you can stuff your keywords into the name of your business, do it. Like sometimes Google is going to change your name automatically and say you can't do that. And that's fine. But one way to get around it is get a DBA that has your main keyword in your name. Because then if Google changes it, you can send them your paperwork and say, hey, this is the name of my business. That's why I'm going to make it. That's what I'm going to make it. Right. So for example, if you are an HVAC company and like you don't have heating or cooling in your name, like you're gonna suffer for that compared to
Mm.
somebody that has the name the name of your area and their main keyword. And so I mean I would definitely recommend that. The simplest way to do that is just like add your keyword to the end. So if you are Little Tommy's plumbing company, just put plumbing company in there at the end, or plumbing services, and just see if Google changes it. So main business category, having the main keyword and which this is like that's called keyword stuffing, and Google like doesn't like it, but at the same time, there's millions of businesses getting away with it every single day, and so if you're not at least trying it, like they're not going to ban you for it. So I would just try it. But having your main keyword and your title, and then also your reviews. So your reviews are kind of the most. That's where you have the most leeway to actually gain ground on other people. Anybody can change their name and anybody can change their main business category, but the reviews are kind of the harder thing to get. And so reviews are huge. You're making sure you're getting high quantity, lots of reviews, making sure you're getting high ratings, so they're getting 5 stars, and then making sure that those reviews have length in it. So the actual length and the keywords in the reviews, those do matter in terms of ranking. Like if they're using your keywords in the review, great. We'd love to see that. Google loves to see a long review with all your keywords in it and photos. Like that's an amazing review. And then the last thing is you just want to make sure those reviews are recent. So you want to make sure your review velocity in terms of how many reviews you're getting each week or month, whatever, is up, right? So
Yeah.
people don't necessarily get this. But like if you have 200 reviews, but you haven't gotten a review in 6 months, if little Johnny down the street has 50 reviews, but he's gotten 50 reviews in the last month, that doesn't mean he's going to rank higher than you always, but in that category, review recency, he's going to rank better than you, and that's going to give him a boost, right? So that's why you always want to make sure you keep requesting a review. And like I hear people say it all the time, I already have the most reviews in my market. It's like step on their neck and murder the competition. Like not really, but I'm just saying keep your foot on the gas. Don't lift up. Keep requesting the reviews. So those are the 3 like main ones on your Google business profile, like the things you can actually change there. The rest all just has to do with the actual SEO of the site that you have linked to your Google business profile, right? So if you have a very simple 1-page site with not a lot of keywords on it, you're not going to rank well. But if you have a very robust site with 20 different service pages and great SEO with backlinks and content and blogs, that's going to help you rank a lot better. So that's why when you do see the businesses that might have like 20 reviews and they're ranking better than anyone else, click on their website, and I can guarantee you they've got a bunch of either content, backlinks to their site, or it's one of those sites that's just been around for forever, and they just have millions of words on it. Not millions, but a bunch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Really insightful. And you touched on something there that I think is interesting, and that is the DNA of a good review. Because it sounds like not all reviews are made equal.
Yeah.
In terms of SEO, right? So if someone comes on and says,
For
hey,
sure.
they did a great job, and that's all they say, that's going to do less for you as a business in the SEO ranking compared to what I think you said was having the keywords of the business you provide, so let's call it HVAC, in the review with photos and having it be a maybe longer and more recent review. So can you talk more, number one, about the DNA of a good review? And then I'm curious if you ever try to like coach customers to like, hey, when you leave a review, use these keywords, or like extra points if you upload a picture, and how you might go about
Yeah.
ensuring that the review is as good as possible.
Yeah, no, for sure. So actually, I had a yoga client. She owns a yoga studio that really, really wanted very specific reviews. And so, in terms of coaching the clients on like or on how to get the best reviews, I haven't found any way to kind of do it and like I haven't found any way to do it and like kind of squeeze that the best review out of the customer that doesn't hurt the total amount of views going to Google. So like what I always kind of optimize for is I just want the biggest number to start off with, just to start off with, because that's what they see when they're in the map pack. Like that's what they see on the map pack. So one person might have 20 reviews that are a page and a half long, but if my business has 200 reviews that are a sentence, I still think that I'm going to get the click, right? Because they don't see the reviews yet, right? And so I think that I'm going to get the click because of just the sheer volume and the numbers I have over them. But in terms of actually coaching, what we can do with our system is when someone clicks the link, we can say, "Hey, see you're about to we see you're about to leave a review. Here's a simple framework you can follow," and just boom, boom, boom. And so like basically it's just like problem, like what problem were we solving, what problem did you have, how was your experience, and like would you recommend this to a friend. Like that's a super simple, like super simple oversimplification of it, and depends on the business. But yeah, that's kind of how you can coach the responses. But in terms of the best DNA, best DNA of a review for ranking on Google is a long review. So I'm talking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sentences, that has all your keywords in it. So you want to make sure it has your location in it in multiple places, like where you are. You want to make sure it has your main keyword in it, hopefully a couple times. You want to make sure it has a couple photos, and it happened today. So the best reviews are ones that happened the most recently, that are super long with all your keywords and a photo. That's kind of like the best review ever.
Got to get more of those. Maybe you can offer 2
Yeah.
meals for someone who leaves a picture and meets that criteria.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's smart.
Okay, so when it comes to repurposing the reviews, right? So if I have my business, I'm getting it off the ground, I have 50, maybe even 100 great reviews. Should I just leave them on Google, or what's the best practice for them putting those reviews other places so that people can see that social proof wherever they're meeting my business?
Yeah, for sure. And so what I tell people all the time is just because you have 100 reviews on Google doesn't mean that people know that. That means that literally just people that came through Google know that. And so people that follow you on social media don't know that. People on your email list don't know that. Your previous customers might not know that. People that are landing on your site from a different way, whether they came directly from social media or whatever, or a different sort of ad, they might not know that. And so in terms of repurposing the reviews, I always recommend just turning them into social media graphics and just like using them as filler social media content. Like obviously it's not a whole social media strategy, and obviously when it comes to home service, depending on the specific industry, normally social media isn't the best place to go to get social media organic, especially to get a whole bunch of customers. But it's great filler content. So people that do follow you, people that do find your account can see, oh, this is a reputable business, right? And so reposting them to your stories, just get a simple template, and then you can just fill in. It takes time, but we automate that process at Review Harvest. So we repurpose the content for you and post it automatically. But and then also in terms of your website, you want to make sure you just get some sort of widget. So we have widgets at Review Harvest. Most of the review companies have widgets, but if you don't work with a company, you can just go to elfsight.com. That's ELFSIGHT. And they have, I think it's $9 a month for a review widget. And you can just add it to your site. And that way, anybody that's on your site knows that you have a bunch of reviews. And that anytime you get a review, it's going to automatically update on the website with the total number of views and the most recent review and stuff like that. And then in terms of just like using those reviews to convert more people, you want to make sure, look at your customer journey and just find places where you can inject that social proof, right? And so like it's hard to overdo it. Like it's hard to overdo, because nowadays consumers are more skeptical than ever. And so the more social proof we give them, the better. Don't make sure it's not the only point of contact they ever have with you. Like you just keep sending them testimonials forever. But you can do that. It helps. So just figure out in your customer journey where you can inject some more social proof. Maybe there's a specific drop-off point that you're seeing. It's like, hey, after we give them a quote, like we never hear from people. And so maybe after you give them a quote, you put them on a 5-day drip of just sending them 5 testimonials, 5 reviews, whether it's email or text, whatever, just to kind of increase that you might be the right decision. But
Yeah, I think that's great. And earlier in the sales cycle, when you're getting a request or you're getting a contact form submission, maybe after the second or third touch, if you're not hearing back from them, starting to implement some screenshots or testimonials from Google reviews as social proof to be like, hey, if you're still looking for a provider, just letting you know we're great. And here's examples of other people saying that. It's not just coming from us. I think that's, yeah, that's a really good approach.
No, exactly. And that's what, and I always tell people, like, you just want to be the safe option. You want to be the no-brainer option. You want to be the safe bet. And so, like, there is strength in numbers. If they know that there's 600 other people that have left you a 5-star review, they feel pretty good about work. They feel better about working with you than if you had 5, right? And so just show them that, hey, I'm the no-brainer option. We are the safe bet. There's the least amount of risk involved in working with us because of this, hundreds of proof that we have all over Google.
It's great, man. So rounding it out here, if I was starting a home service business tomorrow, what's one piece of advice you would give me from the jump to make sure that Google reviews are a huge tool and piece of leverage for my business, and to make sure that I'm doing Google reviews right?
Yeah, for sure. From the jump, I would say just make sure you have a great Google review system set up. And so obviously I'm biased. But when I say that, it doesn't have to be fully automated. I mean, you don't have to pay for software to do it or whatever. It really just depends on the volume of your business. Like if you're more of a high ticket, low volume business, when I tell those people is like, if you're going to do 3 jobs a month, like you should go knock on their door or call them or just talk to them face to face or whatever, the volume's not super high, so they're easier to get and they're easier to do in like kind of a less scalable manual way. If you are more of a lower ticket, high volume business, or just high volume anything, even if it's high ticket, you just can't handle it doing it all yourself. You want to make sure you use automation to remind and ask for those reviews every single time, and just make sure you make it super easy and give them that link. And so, what I tell people about Google reviews is like, there's no excuse not to get Google reviews. Like it is literally the simplest marketing activity you can do. Grab the link, put it in front of people's face. That's literally it. Like when you get into SEO, you're like, there's a bajillion different things that you can do in SEO. When you get into ads, there's like, one, I'm gonna have to spend money to do this, and then you're gonna have to spend money forever to do this, and then you're like, how do I run an ad? And then you get a lead, and you're like, how do I convert them, right? But with reviews, like these are people that already trust you and like you because they worked with you, and just get them to leave you a review, and on the back end, it's gonna pay off in dividends. And people don't think about it as like, if I get reviews, I get more revenue, because it is on the back end of the customer journey, right? But I promise you, like getting all those reviews is going to make everything on the front end so much easier. So yeah, just make sure you emphasize them from day one. There's no excuses not to get great Google reviews.
Yeah. Super sound advice there, man. Well, yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people find you on social or your business if they maybe want to work with you? Let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just on Instagram, Clay W. Lawrence, and then our website is just reviewharvest.com. We offer a free trial, 2-week free trial, so it's pretty much a no-brainer to get rocking and rolling. Most active on Instagram, and then everywhere else we're just Review Harvest. So just find us at Review Harvest.
Cool. Appreciate you, Clay. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too.